Alright, good morning, guys. I slept in a little more today. I actually got up at like 4:20 in the morning, 4:30ish. I was lounging in bed for like 30 minutes. I just didn't care. It is 5:09 in the morning, Tuesday the 9th. And yesterday I got a really good question in the comment section. And the question was, to sum it up, is this guy's asking for a raise and his employer is offering him more of a independent contractor. Instead of a raise, he'll make him an independent contractor. I'm guessing the sell point for the employer is he'll make more money, which is true. He'll make more money. I got offered positions like this when I was younger, in my 20s, and I'm glad I said yes to them twice. I said yes to the independent contractor over employee thing twice, and both times I regretted it terribly. The first time I just heard more money, and I had no idea about expenses and, the financial responsibility, and I just, I didn't know anything. The second time I thought I was smarter, but I just didn't. I realized that if I'm going to be an independent contractor, I want to go into something being independent, right? I don't think this guy, the person asking this, I don't think they're trying to be like an independent contractor or a private chef or anything like that. He wants a raise. The chef is saying no, but I'll give you this. Listen, so for me, here's the thing. In the United States, if you're an employee, I think you file under W-2. And if you're not an employee, if you're a independent contractor, you're filed under 1099. So if you're going to get switched over from a W-2, an employee, to 1099, it means there's going to be more financial responsibility on your side. You're going to have to, this is now where if you take the bus to work, see if you can get a receipt off of that. If you use your own car, well, guess what? That's your company car now. And you want to start, saving your gas receipts. If you buy a new knife, that's an expense. That's your tools, If you're buying measuring cups, that's a tool now, These are expenses that you can later off. Later in tax season, you're going to pay more because you're an independent contractor. Your employer is not going to be taking out taxes. You're going to be getting this big rate, but you're going to have to pay it off later in taxes. And so by you buying things, by you saving receipts and keeping track of stuff like that, it'll shave off, how much you're going to have to end up paying in total. This is more, I can see the employer doing this because of the pandemic and probably wants to save money. He won't have to do payroll taxes. He won't have to worry about employee benefits. If you get injured, that's a big one. If you get fucked up at work, that's on you, buddy. Good luck. You just tell your boss, you're just going to tell your chef, like, hey, I have to go, and you're not getting shit for that, dude. But it's more taxes for you. More taxes for you, less liability. For him, less responsibility. It's good for him. It's not good for you. Again, if you're going to venture out on your own into your own private business, then yeah, these are the things you're going to have to start thinking about, But if your employer offered you this, to me, that's the red flag off the bat. The only situation where I can see myself saying yes to that would be, you would have to pay me at least, I'll give you a window instead of saying a fixed number. I was going to say 50% more than what I make. So what that's like time and a half, basically. You pay me 50% more on what I make, you got it. If you could wiggle it down to 20%, between 20 and 50% more than what a W-2, a regular employee, makes, that's fine. You'd be making way more than everyone in that kitchen. But if you're making about the same, if you're like, oh, we'll give you $2 extra few bucks, fuck that. You can tell him to shove it up his ass. I think it's best to stay at a double as an employee. You're going to get your overtime. You're going to get your unemployment benefits. And what if you lose your job? Well, you were an independent contractor. You're shit out of luck, buddy. But if you're an employee, guess what? You got unemployment. You got sick pays. You got... And look, man, you're essentially, when you become an independent contractor, you're now becoming a private business that's being hired by your kitchen to do a job, you know? And they're trying to save money, so they're not going to pay you what they would normally be paying, like a real independent contractor, some private chef to come in. He's trying to skim the money, and I'm not saying at all that your chef is some slimy guy. I don't know him. I don't know what his mindset is, but if we're just looking at the numbers, if we're just looking at, you know, these points, it's benefiting him. It's not benefiting you, the employee. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Be an independent contractor when you're ready to start looking out for yourself. When you're ready to do that, I'm starting my own business thing, and you can now think about taxes and expenses and, you know, and all those sorts of things. Go for it. But if you're not, don't. And if that's what he's offering you and he's not gonna give you a raise, you'd rather do that, I would start looking elsewhere, or think really hard about your situation. And that's a whole other pro and con type of thing. You know, maybe if you can afford, first off, I wouldn't recommend, you know, you just upright quitting and going somewhere else. I would get another job, get the job, and then give your 2 weeks. I can see why he's doing that. It makes sense. Again, as the employer, it makes sense, but I don't know how old the person asking the question is. But if he's, you know, if you're young enough, you're not really thinking about these other expenses and taxes. You're thinking about more fucking money. But the thing is, you're not going to be making the fair amount of money. You know, if he's just going to just change you over, if you're making $15 an hour and he's just changing you over, then fuck that. Again, if he's going to pay you at least 50% above what your pay rate is right now, you gotta, you know, sure, but it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me because I gotta pay the rest. I gotta pay all that extra money I'm paying. I'm gonna have to pay back in taxes later. I gotta start saving my gas receipt. I gotta start, you know, whenever I buy anything, receipts essentially. And I mean, listen to me. I'm not a fucking financial advisor. I'm a fucking cook. You know, so if you're watching this and you're more financially savvy than me, and you're looking at me going like, this guy doesn't, you know, all the reason why I shouldn't be a fucking independent contractor, or why I should just stick an employee. When I'm ready for that responsibility, I'll fucking do it. But until then, my advice to you cooks out there is stay as an employee. If you guys wanted to be independent contractors, then be independent contractors. Be private chefs. Go out and fucking, you know, start hustling. Do something. Start advertising yourself, you know, whether it's on Instagram or through friends or whatever. But if you're not doing any of that, you're really just trying to, you know, you're just an employee. You're just, you know, trying to get, you know, do your job, do your thing. Then don't do that. Don't put yourself in a spot that later on it's gonna suck. You know, the first time I agreed to doing something like that, I wasn't aware about the whole taxes thing, and so I ended up owing a fuck ton of taxes, which later on had to get garnished from me because I just didn't pay them. I didn't know any of this shit. You know, I saw the total. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck. You know, the second time around, I thought I'd have more. Second time around for another company that I thought would be good, it didn't pan out. Again, no, dude, it's not, for someone like me, I'm not a numbers person, so it wouldn't benefit me at all. I'd have to sit down and choose to become independent Self-employed. Think about it like that. Are you looking to be self-employed? No? Then be a W-2 employee. You looking to be self-employed? Cool. Start thinking about 1099. Think about the pros and cons. Okay? So, aside from this video, I encourage you to go Google it. I Google for more of the informative things, but then I also will refer to Reddit so I can hear first-hand accounts, just like my first-hand account with that and other people's. There was a great pro-life tip on a subreddit. I'm gonna try and leave these links down below, but I'm trying to figure out all this link shit. But yeah, dude, it's not worth it. I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. I would hard fucking pass. Stay an employee. Don't be an independent contractor. Okay? Just Google W-2 versus 1099. You know, or no. Google employee versus independent contractor, and then you can either add Reddit or not, and then you'll get all the posts, all the information that you would need to know. Anyway, get my coffee. It's 4:20. It's 5:20, which means I gotta get my wife's espresso going. I gotta move the car around in front of the garage, get it started and warm up, and I gotta make sure my wife is up. You know, help her out, be a good husband. Anyway, guys, have a great morning. That's a great question. If you guys have any other questions, ask. You know, I'm just a reference guide. I'm not the rule, you know. You just want to hear, hey, what does he think? I got you. All right, guys. Peace.